Hello, welcome back to listening to Ghost Boys by Jewel Parker Rhodes. Today you're going to be listening to page 54 through 87. Last video we left Jerome in the courtroom, which was going completely wild. People screaming order, order, order in the court, and people wanting justice for Jerome. He realizes that Kim, Officer Moore's daughter, can actually see him. And he's upset by that. He's very upset. He wishes it was his sister Kim who could see him. He's wondering why, of all people, would this young white girl be the person who's able to see him. We leave the courthouse and now we're back into Jerome's life when he was alive. So now Jerome is alive, and the book takes us back into the bathroom where Carlos and Jerome are being bullied by Eddie, Mike, and Snap. At the end of the section before the courthouse, we learned that Carlos took out a gun and pointed it at Eddie, Mike, and Snap. And it has changed the dynamic in the bathroom. So we'll start with December 8th. I'm now on page 57, titled Gun. Carlos waves the gun wildly, pointing at Eddie, Mike, and Snap. I back away, moving to the left, closer to the hall door. I should have known better. Friends get you in trouble. Leave me alone. I mean it. Carlos scrambles to his feet. We're just playing, says Mike. No need to be upset, adds Snap. Eddie stares. How did you get a gun in school? Carlos doesn't answer. Though nervous, I shout, leave us alone! I inch sideways, closer to Carlos, away from the line of fire, between the gun and Eddie. Mike, Eddie, and Snap try not to act scared. Carlos holds the gun firm, with two hands. He looks more frightened than they are. Eddie grabs Mike's shoulder. Come on. Mike doesn't want to go. But Eddie is the leader. Scornful, Snap says, I don't care about some Texas kid. He should go back to Texas, Mike spits. Later. Later what? They'll beat us up? If you come back, you'll be sorry, says Carlos. Yeah, I warn. Sorry. So now you're tough, Jerome. I cringe and don't answer Eddie. I'm nauseous. Sorry I got into this mess. Carlos juts the gun towards Eddie. See you later, Jerome. Most deaf. Let's go, says Eddie, and he, Mike, and Snap saunter out of the bathroom. The lunch bell rings. Back to class. Relieved, I rush forward. Ma and Grandma are going to kill me if they find out that I was near a gun. Carlos grips my arm. Jerome, it isn't real. See? It isn't real. I stare, whistling. Plastic. That's how you got it through security? Carlos grins, nodding. Then he laughs, his voice pinching higher and higher. A good trick, right? Trick, I repeat, doubling over laughing. We're both sweating, hysterical. I gulp air. I'm less scared. Still nervous, but less scared. Carlos is smart. A toy gun. So that's the end of that section. I'm now moving on to the section where Jerome is dead. But before I read, let's take a look at some of the themes that are showing up. We see the theme of friendship happening between Carlos and Jerome. And the theme of loneliness has been repeated now throughout the book. A lot of the characters feel lonely. And now fear has shown up even more, to the point where now Eddie, Snap, and Mike are feeling fearful because they believe that Carlos is the type of kid that can get a gun into school. So now we'll continue. I'm now on page 63, and this chapter is titled Sarah. And Sarah is one of our characters in the story that we're listening to right now. And she is the white girl who is the daughter of another character, Officer Moore. Not knowing how, I find the girl's house. It's not a mansion, but it's nicer than my family's apartment. There's a front and backyard, a porch, a basement, and 2 floors, windows everywhere. A police car is in the driveway. A curtain flutters. I see the girl. Like magic, I float inside, into the 2nd floor and a pink bedroom. The girl stumbles. She falls against her dresser. She wants to scream, I can tell, but she doesn't. I recognized your picture, she says, breathless, terrified. You see me. How come? I don't know. She's got freckles, a nervous smile. Brave, she stands up straighter. It's been lonely, not talking to anyone, not being seen. I'm lonely too, she says, flushing. Sounds dumb, but I am lonely. Ever since my dad shot you, he and my mother fight. They're just sad all the time. They should be. Sad. He was scared. I was playing. I was the good guy. I was too. Kim and me hardly ever played outside. Gangs, drive-bys. My parents always say, it was a special afternoon, me, outside, rather than stuck in a dark apartment. I told Grandma I made a friend. It was a fine day. I'm sorry, the girl whispers. Her sorry makes me angry. If she wasn't a girl, I'd think about hitting her. Dead. I can't hit anyone. And that makes me even angrier. Her bedroom is 3 times the size of mine. Decorated with a bookshelf, framed pictures, a pink striped comforter, a TV, and a computer. I bet she doesn't even hear gunshots in her neighborhood. My dad was doing his job. He said that? She presses her lips tight. He shot me. My dad protects and serves. That's what policemen do. He didn't protect me. Everybody in my neighborhood knows cops do whatever they want. That's not true. He upholds the law. I grunt. Upset, the girl rocks back on her heels. I don't care. Her bedroom is like cotton candy, sickly sweet. Ballerinas on the lampshade glow. 2 tiny stuffed pigs rest on the pillows. Nothing bad is supposed to happen to whoever sleeps in this room. Jerome? I don't answer. Can I help? I almost scream. Can you make me alive again? But I don't. This girl is crying. I'm surprised a stranger is crying for me. I can't change things. You're all over the news. I don't want to be in the news. What are they saying? It depends. Page 66. Before I can say on what, the door opens. Sarah, it's time for bed. Yes, Dad. Officer Moore is skinny, with big hands and reddened eyes. He hugs his daughter tight. I think she might break, but Sarah doesn't pull away. Want to go skating tomorrow? Sure, Dad. He kisses her forehead, and I'm jealous. Who'll ever kiss me? Dad, is it true he was 12? Officer Moore holds Sarah at arm's length. It's a rough neighborhood. Same age as me? You don't know him. You didn't see him. Sarah looks at me. She does see me. We're the same height. Probably in the same grade, 7th. She points, stops, stutters. He was my height. Her father blinks. He doesn't recognize her, like he can't believe she's contradicting him. She plunges on. You said he was big, scary. I was there, he fires back. Not you. Sarah lowers her eyes, clasps her hands, trembling. Her father leaves, slamming the door. He doesn't hear. Did you make a mistake? No, he didn't, I answer. It must have been a mistake. He did it on purpose. No, it was a mistake. Later, I say, disgusted. Don't leave. Why should I stay? We could be friends? That's the stupidest thing. I've never had a friend like Sarah, a white girl. I laugh. It's so stupid. Die and a white girl can be your friend? I'm not trying to be funny. Stay. She's pleading. I feel sorry for her. My school doesn't have any Sarahs. Definitely not ones who look like pigs and pink. Gotta go, I say. Where? This catches me up short. I don't know. I don't even know how to go, how to move. I just dissolve, fade away, then appear again. Can I control that? Besides Sarah, I feel like I'm being watched, uneasy. I turn, try to lift the window curtain. Ghost Boy is looking up at me. A streetlight, glowing, filters through him. He's watching, waiting for something. From me? Sarah? Next to me, Sarah sniffs, whimpers. What does it feel like, being dead? Aren't you supposed to go somewhere? Now I feel like crying. I'm sick, homesick. But my family, even Kim, can't see me. I hate watching them eat cereal, fake smiling, and pretending the day is ordinary. I hate seeing where I used to sit, empty. Who knew death was so complicated? Who knew the end wasn't the end? I hate school. Sarah sits on her fluffy bed. What? You being bullied? I understand bullying. Being shoved into lockers, humiliated. Some people are angry at my dad. They shout at me like I'm a bad person. But some people, she looks down at her hands, some people think my dad is a hero, that he was doing his job, that he's brave and I should be proud of him, that I'm special, lucky to be his daughter. I'm embarrassed. I shudder. I don't believe it. Your family's got everything. A nice life, people celebrating you. It's not fair. Twice she's finished my sentence. Later, I say, I don't want to be liked because my dad killed you. She looks like her dad. It's hard looking at her. I swallow. Sarah, that's your name? She nods. I love Dad more than anything, but seeing you, I wonder how he could have shot me? Yes, maybe someone might shoot me. Nah, you're a girl and white. Is that it? Is that true? I shrug my shoulders. How many times had I heard, be careful of police, be careful of white people? Everybody in the neighborhood knew it. Pop told me as soon as I could read. I sit cross-legged on the floor. No bones, no muscles, but I feel tired just the same. I'm supposed to see you, insists Sarah. It means something. It must. She sits cross-legged beside me. Even her nails are pink. I think I'm supposed to help you. Help me? How can you help me? I don't know. My grandmother, she tells me it's time to get going, to move on. She can see you? Nah, not like you. She can't hear me either, but she senses I'm around. I sigh. Sarah sighs too. 2 kids, 1 dead, 1 alive. Crazy. I laugh again. Sarah smiles, then laughs with me. She knows I'm not laughing at her. We're both nervous. I think if we weren't laughing, we'd cry. It doesn't feel right to be laughing when I'm dead. You know, I wish I never met Sarah. So we finished the chapter about Sarah, and I'd like you to think about a couple of questions. Why do you think Jerome is so jealous of Sarah? He says it in the book. He says, I'm jealous. I'm thinking it has something to do with equity, things being equal. And when he looks around Sarah's bedroom and her house and her neighborhood, Jerome realizes how unequal his life is compared to hers. He doesn't have a backyard, a front yard. He doesn't think Sarah even has to listen to gunshots in her neighborhood. She doesn't live in a mansion, but she definitely has a better life than Jerome. And he's realizing how really unfair that is. And I think Sarah might be too. Because she asks her dad some questions. She pushes back on her dad. And her dad doesn't like that. And it's making her dad really uncomfortable having to defend himself to his daughter. And I'm wondering what you think Jerome means by when he says, who knew death was so complicated? Who knew the end wasn't really the end? He and Sarah are brought together, I think, for a reason. I'd like you to think about what you think that reason might be. And it is very complicated why they've been brought together. So now we're going to move back to when Jerome is alive. And I'm now back at school. So we've left the setting of Sarah's bedroom, and now we're back at school. And it's still December 8th, and I'll start reading this chapter now. Carlos sits in the row across from me. Through every subject, language arts, history, math, sometimes his head drops onto his desk like he hasn't had enough sleep. He's skinny, much skinnier than me, skinnier than Kim. I want the bell to ring. I've done too much already. Helped Carlos, watched Mike, Eddie, and Snap pretend that they weren't scared. I'm exhausted, anxious, tense. Today I wasn't stomped. I wasn't so lonely. I'm confused. Being good gets me in trouble. Scaring bullies gets me out. I don't like it. I don't like thinking about how to keep myself safe tomorrow and the next day. I don't have a toy gun. Page 76. The bell rings. Bye, I say to Carlos. I dash out of the room, lugging my backpack. I rush through the school door, down the steps, on the sidewalk. I wait for Kim. Kids rush by me. Surprising me, Carlos tugs at my coat. Hey, let's hang out. Cold, shivering, he says. I can be late. My mom won't mind. He's grinning wide. He lifts the gun partway out of his pocket. We could play pretend we're taking down zombies. No, I shake my head, trembling. We're friends now, aren't we, Jerome? I frown at the shape in his pocket. I remind myself it's a toy, not a gun. I shake my head again. I have to go home. Then you take it. Give it back tomorrow. Jerome, I hear. My sister. Carlos nods. Hey. Kim smiles sweet, like she thinks that Carlos is cute. I'm Carlos. Jerome's is my friend. Kim smiles brighter. Hey, Carlos. She's not used to anyone calling me friend. Carlos grins. Chicago's not so bad. He offers the gun. Kim steps back. I shift my body so people can't see. It's okay, Kim, says Carlos. It's just a toy. Carlos puts it in my hand. The plastic feels light, clammy. Play with it, Jerome. No, I say, sliding my hand free. It'll be fun. You can scare the bad guys. Kim, you won't believe what we did. Don't. I don't want Kim to know what happened. Got it. Sorry. He steps closer, murmuring, I'm just trying to say thanks, Jerome. You helped me out a lot. Good friends share. You can bring it back tomorrow. Carlos is serious. He looks like a mouse. One of the nicest in a Disney cartoon. All curious, helpful, and worried at the same time. Kim stares at me. Her eyes are telling me no, don't do it. The sky is overcast. There isn't any snow, just dirty mounds of ice on the ground. Kids are escaping school, yelling and shouting. Across the street are some dealers. Principal Alton watches them. Nobody is approaching me, Carlos, and Kim. I study the gun. The gun's blackness is bold, startling. I'm always good. Teasing Kim doesn't count. I say what Grandma wants to hear. Calm her and Mom. Watch out for Kim. Play Minecraft for just an hour. Okay, sometimes 2. Do my homework. Even act nice when Mr. Myers isn't asking me. He's asking the whole class. To welcome the new kid. Sucker. That's me. Why can't I have some fun? Pretend I'm a rebel in Rogue One. Better yet, scare Eddie if he tries ambushing me on the way home. Or jumping me tomorrow on the way to school. Why am I the only one who's scared all the time? It's just a toy, I whisper to Kim. It won't do anything bad. The gun rests in Carlos's brown palm. My head aches. My stomach hurts. Grandma and Ma won't like it. Pop will get mad. Weird. Kim's words make me want the toy more. It's okay, says Carlos, in the cold. His breath blows smoke. It's okay. Carlos spins and he tucks the toy into his pocket. I clutch his arm. I want to play. Carlos grins. Slyly, He slides me the toy. Bye, he says, jogging, then running full out. I grip the handle. It's firm with ridges. The barrel doesn't spin, but the trigger cocks just as if you were loading or firing a real gun. I look down, the rounded muzzle. There aren't any plastic bullets or pellets. My hands shake. I look up. Light snow falls. I shiver. It's just a toy. Why am I scared of a toy? I made a friend, I say to Kim, as if that explains everything. She scowls and she starts walking home, her lips taut, thin like Ma's when she's angry. Today was a good day, I say. I didn't get hurt. I didn't get beat. Today was a good day. I made a friend. I keep chattering, and though she's my little sister, she's street smart. She knows how lonely my school days are. She knows I'm begging without saying, don't tell, don't tell. Please don't tell Ma or Grandma, especially not Pop. She slips her hand in mine. I know I'm safe. We walk home. My left hand feels how warm Kim's gloves are. Like Carlos, I don't have any gloves. My right hand clutches the plastic in my pocket. It burns. So that was a big moment. That was the moment that Carlos convinces Jerome to take the toy gun. But I'm thinking Jerome really convinced himself. Think about all the reasons why he took that gun. Why do you think he did that? Do you think that black and brown people have to be careful of the police? Careful of white people? And why? And why do you think that Jerome has allowed Carlos into his life? I think that one of the themes, loneliness, is probably the reason that Jerome lets Carlos into his life. He wants to have friendship. And for a moment, while he has a friendship with Jerome, he doesn't feel so much fear in his life. And those might be some of the reasons why he lets Carlos into his life. So now we're going to go back to when Jerome is a ghost. He's dead. And we are back at the courthouse. That's the setting that we're in now. And it's moved from December 8th when he was alive, and now we're at April 18th during the preliminary hearing. And this is a hearing just to decide whether or not Officer Moore should go to trial and face charges in the shooting of Jerome. I'll begin reading. I'm on page 85. Preliminary hearing, Chicago Courthouse, April 18th. The lawyer says, "Were you surprised you shot a child?" "Asked and answered, Your Honor," says the defending lawyer. "I'll rephrase. Why were you surprised?" asked the lawyer calmly. "Can you tell the difference between a boy and a man?" "Yes, of course. I mean, it was dark." Daylight. The judge's face is like a mask, her hair silver. She peers at Officer Moore. Officer Moore swallows. "Yes, daylight. He was big." "More than any other 12-year-old boy?" "Yes, bigger." "Are you prejudiced?" "No." "Liar!" someone shouts. "Quiet," the judge warns, tapping her gavel once. I look across the courtroom at Sarah, eyes wide, her elbows on her knees, her palms cupped over her head. I'm standing next to her father, studying him. Have you heard of racial bias? No. Heard prejudice can affect your thoughts, your actions, whether consciously, knowingly, or unconsciously? I'm not a racist. Possibly you were responding to unconscious stereotypes of black men as large, threatening, dangerous. No, I acted with just cause. How tall is your daughter? Objection, says the seated lawyer. Sustained, answers the judge. I'll ask another way. Would it surprise you if I told you Jerome Rogers, the child you killed, was no taller than 5 feet, 90 pounds? Officer Moore is surprised. Her palm presses tight against her ears. Sarah bows her head. She can't see her father squirm. I can. Then it's my turn to be surprised. The ghost boy sits beside her. He tries to hold Sarah's hand. She doesn't flinch. Neither hand meets. They can't. He's dead. She's alive. Sarah sees us both. Ghost boy extends his hand toward me, like I'm supposed to hold it. Be grateful. I flinch. What am I supposed to do? What does it mean? Officer Moore's plump-faced lawyer asks for a lunch break. The judge agrees. For a few seconds, she closes her eyes. I think it doesn't matter if Sarah can see me and the ghost boy. It only matters that the judge sees that Sarah's dad is lying. People file out of the courtroom. Pop is steadying both Ma and Grandma. Officer Moore guides his wife, hand on her back. I don't move. Sarah and the ghost boy walk out of the courtroom, turning once to look back at dead me. And that's the end of our reading for today's lesson. I'd like you to think about what just happened in this courtroom. We're talking about prejudice, racial bias, stereotypes, and we're coming back to this idea of equity, which means equality. And the lawyer in the case is questioning Officer Moore and asking him, do you have stereotypes? Are you prejudiced? Do you have racial bias in your thoughts and in your minds about what it is to be a black person? And did you react in the way you did because of those things that were going on in your thoughts about black people? These are big questions about race that I believe Jerome and Sarah are going to be doing a lot of thinking about. And I hope that you're noticing that the ghost boy is showing up and trying to think to yourself, who might that ghost boy be? So this was a good lesson, and I hope that you enjoyed listening, and good luck. Now you can begin answering your 5 questions in Google Classroom about this part of the text.